All right, Rob, let's start with the news of the day. And it's not NBA trade deadline news, which dominated yesterday, but it's the NFL. And obviously the 2021 draft is coming up. And the San Francisco 49ers and the Miami Dolphins have thrown everything into chaos. Everyone's wondering what in the heck is going on. The 49ers trade with the Dolphins. The Niners now get the third pick in the draft. For the Dolphins, the Dolphins will get the 12th pick, and they get some other future draft picks and draft picks this round or this year as well. But the main thing is they're moving to number 12. And then they went ahead and with Philadelphia traded the 12th pick to the Eagles for the 6th pick from Philadelphia. So now Miami has the 6th pick. And again, some other draft picks this year and in the future. And then San Francisco has the 3rd pick. And Rob, this is the 5th time recently. Lee, correct me if I'm wrong. But I think it's the 5th time recently in the last several drafts that this has happened. A team has moved up to number 3. And every time they did it, they took a quarterback. So the speculation is all over the place that the San Francisco 49ers are going to draft a quarterback. And Rob, I believe it. Now, Adam Schefter's reported that the Niners have said Jimmy G is their quarterback this year. He's not going anywhere. It makes sense that he's the quarterback for this year because even if you draft somebody, it's a rookie. And they're a team that should be thinking they can win now. And they do think that. So do they want to put that in the hands of a rookie? So I get where they may keep Jimmy G. But Jimmy G is always hurt. Jimmy G's missed like 23 games since he's been, with the Niners. I mean, it's ridiculous. As much as they may like him, he's hurt half the time.
Yep.
And so that
you got to
be
available, right?
Right.
You got to be available, right?
The best ability is availability. And there's also speculation, which we can get into, that they will trade him this year, despite what they're saying or what Schefter's reporting. And now the team, of course, that everybody's looking at is New England. So first, I want your general thoughts on this. I think they're taking a quarterback. Whether it's Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, maybe they like a couple guys. And they're like, look, either one of them is good. And that assures them of getting who they want at 3. And then I think the question, Rob, is if you're New England, are you cool going with Cam this year, or do you try to bring back Garoppolo?
I think there's always going to be an affinity for Garoppolo there. Only because, that was Bill Belichick's baby. He had all set up to replace Tom Brady. So I just think that, you know what I mean? If he does get a chance, I'm not saying it's going to happen this year, Chris, but, if they're keeping him this year and Cam just signed a 1-year deal, do you know what I mean? It could work out.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. It doesn't have to be this year.
No, I don't think it has to be this year. Let him play there, and then he could come back to New England. If Cam lights it up and they make the playoffs and win 10 games, then maybe you don't go that route. Do you know what I mean? But if that's not the case, Chris, then you have another option. So I think they'll keep an eye on him to see what happens this year in San Francisco. But it just tells you where we are in the NFL when I think of today and what they did in that quarterbacks who get you to the Super Bowl aren't valued the same way as they were years ago. Not that long ago. If you went to a Super Bowl, Chris, that would buy you time. That doesn't buy you any time
don't you think he falls into that Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson category where, yes, he got you to the Super Bowl? I'm talking about in their eyes, in many people's eyes, I think. I actually think he's has something to do with it because the proof is just in the pudding that he's won games. I mean. But
the other thing, too, is I get it. People like the shiny new toy. There's no guarantee. We just saw Matthew Stafford with a big arm, Chris, play 12 years in Detroit and not win a playoff game. Right? That's with a stud quarterback, right?
I mean, look at the guy that's in New York. And look, the jury's still out on him. But there are some people that think Sam Darnold is a bust. I don't know that
Well,
he
but
is, but he was the third pick.
But
like
this
he
is what
was
I'm saying.
valued. Josh Rosen.
It's
I mean,
not
same
automatic.
draft. Yeah, Josh Rosen, he was the 10th pick. People loved him. Some people. You know what I mean? Like, it is not unusual to see high picks struggle at quarterback.
Right. But I'm saying, like, it's one thing to be like, okay, yeah, that was nice. You got us to the Super Bowl or whatever. And maybe if you coach differently down the stretch, Chris, in the last 7 or 8 minutes, he'd be Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Right.
I'm serious. Took the ball out of his hands, ran the football like they had done the entire postseason.
Yep.
Right? They ran the football in the first 3 quarters of that game. I didn't understand why that stopped. But anyway, I'm just saying, you can go ahead and discard the guy and go to the next guy. It ain't automatic. I say the same thing with the Rams. I get it. Fell out of love with Jared Goff. There's no guarantee that Matthew Stafford's going to ultimately get you to where Jared Goff got you. You could say on paper it looks like an upgrade. I got it. I'm not blind. But it's not automatic.
Yeah, look, and I do think, though, a big part of this, Rob, is Garoppolo's injuries. Like, if he were healthy, I don't know that they'd be looking for another quarterback. Obviously, there's some people that just don't think he's that good. But like I said, he's won for them. He's 24-8 in San Francisco. And without him, they're not even close to that record over the same period of time. So if I'm New England, Rob, I would try to bring back Garoppolo. I do think at this point in time, I would rather have him quarterbacking my team than Cam. And that hurts me to say because Cam, has been on a level that Garoppolo's never reached, MVP of the league, got a team, although at Garoppolo, they both got teams to the Super Bowl. But Cam was a much more of a driving force on that team. And I expected him to play well last year. I think he'll play better this year than he did last year, but I don't think he'll get back to being what he was in Carolina during his heyday or that close to that. I think Garoppolo in New England, I think he'd be very good there. I think they'd be a real tough team in the AFC with him. Look, if they can't get him this year, maybe they get him next year. So you're right. You have a year to play with. But if I were them, I would try to get him sooner rather than later. It's interesting. Brandon Marshall, our colleague here at FS1, he said this morning, and he talked with Cam on his podcast, I Am Athlete. He said he thinks if they went for Jimmy Garoppolo, New England, or if they got him, that Cam might ask for a trade. But my thing is, or a release or something. Like, where's Cam going? I don't know that anybody else would want it. I think Cam, the best thing for him to do would be to – you think he would do it?
Yeah, from the standpoint that I think if you go back, it's just what we just talked about. That was Belichick's first girlfriend. I mean, if he's going back to get her, right, then you're probably going to be out anyway, Chris. And rather than have the embarrassment of being cut or saying they don't want you, you ask out.
But what if nobody wants to trade for it? I mean, obviously teams haven't been breaking down his door.
But I'm saying it's still different about leaving on my own accord compared to them putting me out the door. That's what it would be a pride thing. I'm with you. I know what you're saying. It would just be a pride thing.
Yeah, I mean, because my thing, and I don't know that Cam's ready to go there, but I think that Cam at some point, unless he has a great year, what I would want from, if I'm Cam, if I was going to New England and they brought in Garoppolo, I would be like, look, and look, it seems like they respect him. Belichick seems to really like him, so I think Belichick would, do this for him. I would just ask, if I'm Cam, give me a fair shot. In training camp, let's make it an open competition. If you can do that, if you can promise me the best man's going to start, then I'm all good. And if Jimmy G beats me out, fine. But promise me that. And if they can't promise him that, then I hear you. I'm asking for a trade. I'm asking for a release, whatever, unless he's just willing to accept being a backup, which might be the case anyway if he goes somewhere else. So it's interesting. But, yeah, I would rather go with Jimmy G if I'm New England, if they can get him over Cam. Who would you rather have in New England, Garoppolo or Newton?
All right, let's kick it off with Dre in Michigan. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Dre?
Hey, what it do, fam? Y'all all right?
What's up, man?
Okay, I'm good. Hey, to me personally, I wouldn't trade for Jimmy G for the simple fact that he's been hurt so much. So I'm not for what they're gonna want for him. I'm not about to give up no draft capital. I'd rather just draft me a quarterback. Since Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels supposed to be these gurus, draft you a quarterback. Let Cam be the stopgap for that quarterback. So I wouldn't really trade.
That's not a bad idea.
Now.
I mean, if I like Mac Jones again, especially, New England might be able to make more out of him just because of his style of play. If he's there at 15, they could take him. Who knows if he'll be there? But that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is, but
because Jimmy G is hurt too much.
But
Rob.
there's a history,
I don't know what
though.
the heck.
But there's a history.
I get you. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he got to be – dude, is half the time he's hurt.
But Bill Belichick, come on, tell me he didn't have his chest stuck out when they got to the Super Bowl with him. And Bill
I hear you.
was saying, I told you. You know what I mean? I bet that's what he was feeling. Jeremy.
And Kraft, I think, had his chest stuck out this year, right?
Oh, yeah. but I'm saying, but before that happened. Right. Jeremy in Alabama, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Jeremy?
Man, I'm going to tell you right now, Jimmy Garoppolo is overrated. To me, I think he is not as great a quarterback as everybody says he is. And if New England takes him, they're idiots. And I'm not saying that I think Cam's the answer for them. I think he is for this next year, but he's not the long-term answer. They're going to have to draft somebody, but neither one of them is the long-term answer. And to me, don't trade for Jimmy Garoppolo when you have Cam Newton there in place who's been in the system. I understand that he played for him and everything before and knew the system, but Cam's in the system now. You know what I mean? He's there.
Jeremy, you make total sense, but how about this? If they wait a year knowing that if they draft a quarterback, he's going to be expendable next year, right? Or they're not going to keep him. And the Patriots can just wait and see how Cam plays this year. Chris, would you be into that?
Saying what? Draft a quarterback, keep Cam for this year and draft a quarterback at 15?
No, wait on Jimmy Garoppolo, not this year, next year.
I think the first caller made a great point that Jimmy G's injury history means don't give up much for him in a trade, which makes sense, right?
Well, that's
you
what
can
I'm
trade
saying.
a lot for him and he gets
don't
hurt
do
again.
anything this year.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because they're going to get rid of him anyway, right?
Yep.
So he might be available, and you don't have to give up anything. And this year
and
will tell you,
even
what
if
if he
bring
stays
him
healthy?
there this year,
What
right?
if he
And if
stays
you bring
healthy
him there
all year?
this year, you're going to have to pay him
Right.
anyway, assuming you think he's your guy. I feel you on that. I think that makes
work
sense.
like that.
I think that makes sense.
Hank in Virginia, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Hank?
Well, hey guys, how y'all doing? Look, quick shout out to Up on Game this Saturday Fox show with Plax, LeVar, and TJ. Man, they're awesome.
Yes,
starting to fall in with those guys, man. Plax is a homeboy. I'm from his area of Virginia, 757.
Are you serious?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact,
so the next time you call in, tell him he owes me Jordans, but that's another story. All right.
Does he?
Right, I will.
He bet me. He doesn't know me yet. He bet me that the Nets wouldn't be one of the top two teams in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I gotta call Plax. He's doing that.
So
your high school, you beat Plaxico in high school football? Is that what you were about to say?
Actually, what happened is his high school in Virginia Beach opened up in 1982. My high school, Deep Creek, where D'Angelo Hall went, was one of the first teams to schedule Green Run. So we kind of got like a little vibe. We've been talking about that kind of stuff. And anyway, look. I think Cam is in a great position, and here's why. Let's say that you guys let's factor in everything. Belichick loves him some Garoppolo, so we all know that. Cam, let's say he gets out of his contract, and like you said, Bill Belichick likes him. He's going to do him right. And Cam takes him a nice little step out to the Dallas Cowboys backup role. How about that?
Wait, so they trade for Garoppolo, and then they trade.
Go ahead and release Cam,
Dallas?
with a handshake and some extra money in his pocket.
Right.
And maybe Cam skip over to the Cowboys. Can you imagine? The lead option was Zeke Elliott. Some extra power at the all line comes back, and all those weapons. And here's that ankle.
I've talked about Cam, Rob. not wanting to be a backup. But I think there's another element to it, too. If he goes to the wrong team as a backup, like he's such a respected and well-liked guy around the league by players, right? And what he's done in the past, and he's a physical specimen, that if he's backing up anything but an absolute superstar, if things start to go south a little bit with your starter, I think it could possibly be somewhat of a quarterback controversy in your locker room. Or maybe, but less likely among the fans, but certainly in your locker room. Like if he went to Dallas and Dak started off poorly, not just the first couple games, but, over 5-6 games, could you see like, hey, see what Cam can do? I mean, I know they love Dak down there in the locker room too, but players love Cam.
Yeah, I don't know. I think with Dak and his contract and whatnot, I don't think that just would be an issue. I really don't. Not at this point, and not where Cam is coming from. Because by this point, he would have been let go by two teams. Nobody wanted to sign him. He had to take low money from the Patriots 2 years in a row. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't have any moxie. He doesn't have any moxie.
I agree with you, but I think players value Cam far more
I get
than
that part. I get that
the
part.
teams or the executives and all that. And I side with the executives on this one because I don't think Cam has that much left, but we'll see this year.